So I felt like I was asking my teammates at the time, like, hey, did you get your exit meeting yet? They said, yeah, we already had it. So I'm like, okay, cool. All right. What's going on? So I had my meeting. They actually finally called me in. And then it wasn't not physical ability. It was not, I wasn't a great student. It was like,
Yo, what's going on, y'all? And welcome to another episode at the Rec with your boy, Rod Edwards. This man needs no introduction. He called me back immediately and said, hey, I'm not done. We need to do a part 2. So without further ado, Steve Johnson.
hey, welcome back. You know,
what's up, man?
It was a joy to see yourself again on camera. Like that was a great experience for me just to see it, you know.
So let's unpack that experience just briefly before we get into it. Like podcasting, was that something that you've done before? Like, have you done interviews before?
I've never done a podcast. I've got an interview, of course, in college and, you know, high school and stuff like that. You know, the one-off questions, how was the game, stuff like that. But just an in-depth, like, questionnaire or just telling somebody my story, I've never done that.
Yeah. So what do you think, like, it was tough being, like, vulnerable, or did it put you in a vulnerable state, or, like, what did it?
No, I've told this story many times to different people, but I never said it on camera. So I was just comfortable with the conversation. And it wasn't just about my life. It was just basketball. It was life. It was different things that was occurring in the conversation. So I was very comfortable with the conversation. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you, man, like, I know when I first decided to, like, get into podcasting, like, it, again, as an idea, you're like, anybody can do this. Right. Let me buy some mics. Let me buy some cameras. You know, get an audio interface,
right?
And then it's like when you go to turn all that stuff on, and like the lights is, it's like playing a sport, bro.
The lights is bright,
the lights come on, you like, man. So, you know, I know for me it was definitely like a transition, and it was something where I had to get some reps,
right?
So like as I continue to, I still got room to grow. You know what I mean? So, I always like to ask people like how their experience was. Because some people, they do it and they're like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna ever do that again.
Right.
And then some people do it and they're like, man, like, how much was this?
Yeah,
like, I think I want to start.
I thought I sounded stupid at first. Like, I thought my voice, because my voice is so deep, I thought I sounded weird. But once I heard my voice on the mic and seeing myself on cameras, like, I actually was very confident in what I was doing and what I was saying. And also you were confident in what you were doing, what you were saying. So it came out good to me.
Yeah. And you know a funny thing too, you worried about how you look. Right, you like, man, is my hoodie is my hoodie is my hat leaning? Is my hoodie sitting over my jacket correctly? Yeah. But nah, that's cool, man. I'm glad you decided to stop back by. I know you said you have more that you wanted to unpack with the story. I definitely have more questions. Okay. So let's get into it, man.
Okay.
So we talked briefly last week about, you know, you playing high school ball, you playing college ball, and then you know, having a pro career. So like, the people want to know, right? How far did you actually go? Like, take us through the steps of really what that looked like in your career.
Okay, so I didn't tell nobody where I committed to. So after Brunswick Community College, I went to Winthrop University. It's in Rock Hill, South Carolina. Big school in that area. It's a private school, nice institution. There, my coach was Pat Kelsey. He coached at Xavier. He came in as his first year. And that time, I didn't have a father figure. So when he came at me, it was just like a controlling thing to me. Like, you have to do X, Y, and Z. Like I told you last time, the coaches have free range to do what they want to do, not what you want to do.
Yeah.
So I couldn't get in that system. And my attitude was bad at the same time. So during that time, I was not in the gym. I was depressed. I was doing a whole lot of things that I shouldn't have done during that time. So I still was getting minutes. I still was going hard. I still was doing my thing. But the mental aspect of the game, I wasn't, I guess, would say better at that. I was just physically gifted. That's it.
Right. So, and I want to briefly put a pin on that because I want to, when you were talking about like, your mannerisms to the game and your approach to like how you were with coaches and maybe either other teammates, right? High school, was it the same way? Like,
no, that's where I think when I get to that point where you say, okay, I need somebody to guide me because I was guiding myself the whole time as far as going to these high school games and playing. And I only had my brother that know a little bit about high school and college. That's it. That time right there is important when you get to that point, like, dang, I'm in this position, but I don't know what to do. Like, I don't have nobody to go to. That's important to say, hey, I can lean on him because he knows.
Right.
I couldn't go to my teammates because I couldn't relate to some of my teammates because they had a different lifestyle growing up. Or I would hoard that information to myself, which was stupid in my opinion.
So now you're probably thinking, all right, I'm in a situation where you don't have your brother with you.
Mm-hmm.
You have this coach who you're trying to consider as a father figure.
Correct.
Right. And now you're competing for minutes. You're competing with other guys. So explain how that day in, day out process was. Like, now you're here, you're committed. Like, what does that look like?
That looks like summertime. Like I told you, get there early and get there often. We was there summertime, running 3, 4, 6 miles, like continuous working out, doing volleyball workouts. We was doing everything during that time. I thought I was fine because I was doing physical work. Mm-hmm. That's all I knew, just being physical. Cool. When it came time to do those tests that, you gotta pass in order to stay on the team, because it's a lot of integral things that you have to do before you actually can play. Getting through those summer workouts, like I said, I got through those because it's physical. Mm-hmm. But when my coach challenged me as mentally, learning the plays, being on time, learning the workouts, having those conversations with your teachers, knowing all those different things that makes you a student athlete, key student, I was struggling at. But anything physical I can handle.
So what do you think was more challenging? Was it the learning? Because I know you said learning the plays. So the first question is this: do they give you like a book, like kind of like football? Do they give you like a binder full of plays, or do they give you a disc, or what's the format of?
They give you a playbook. They give you a playbook.
Okay,
I got a playbook, but did I go through it? No. I'm just be real. The reason why I didn't go through it is because I felt like basketball at the time. I'm 21. Mm-hmm. I'm not a grown man. I don't have nobody telling me, hey, you need to go do this so you can be great. I didn't have that, so I just was going off of physical ability. Like, there's a ball, I know what to do with this, but
yeah, you thought natural feel
was just gonna get me where I needed to be, and it did. But in hindsight, looking back, 10 years later, that was stupid.
Right. And then with that, like, what type of student did you like?
I was an excellent student. Like, I was an excellent student. Once I finally figured it out after Brunswick, I was like, okay, I know what I need to do to be a student athlete. I know that I need my books. I actually honed in, and I went from a 0.4 GPA in Miami all the way to transition to a 3.5 in college. Wow. So I wasn't stupid. I just needed some time.
Needed some guidance. Yeah.
I just needed somebody to be there. But
wow.
After that, after I knew that I can do it, I became a great student athlete.
So going back to the coach, was that relationship always good? Was it something that was rocky? Like, was it a relationship where it was bad up until like the very end, and like y'all just finally like figured it out? Like, what do you think the friction point, if any?
The friction was always on me. Like, it was just me. Like, it was me trying to do whatever I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. I wanted to do it my way. I thought I was a big man on campus. Like, I had the baddest chick at the time. I mean, I thought my shit didn't stink at the time. Like, I'm from Miami by way of Fayetteville, so all we did was grind. I feel like I arrived. Let me just say it like that. Yeah. I feel like I arrived at the time, and I ain't have to do too much. Just roll the ball out and let's hoop. That's it.
And in this situation, were you like, did you have stars? Like, were you?
No, I didn't have no stars. I didn't have none of that.
Really?
That's what's crazy. But again, you go from Miami, not doing anything, to making yourself something totally different. So your identity looks different to yourself, but it's not. Because you feel like you're progressing in life, but you're really not. You're moving somewhere fast, but you're not going nowhere.
So we'll call it motion, because that's what the young kids say. But where do you think like the chip came from?
The chip came from,
or do you think it was entitlement? Like what? Like,
no, the chip came from just me, just living life. Like, the things that I've been through, I felt like, how dare you, put me in this position I worked so hard for. But you don't know how much I put in. You don't know where I came from. None of that. Yeah. So you meet me for the first time, I already got a chip on my shoulder. I'm not inviting. I'm not telling you, hey, I want my goals. I'm not telling you my goals.
All right.
I'm just here. I committed to this school. I ain't do no research on the school or the coach. I just thought it was a guy, George Valentine. He played at 71st, and he went there. But we were cool. So I was like, if it's good enough for George, it's damn sure good enough for me.
Right.
So I don't need to do no research because he went there and he did his thing. And they went to the NCAA tournament. So it's like, that's all I needed to get myself in the door. So
and then you get there and you realize like, okay.
Oh shit, I gotta do some work.
Okay.
I gotta do some work.
So what do you think was the defining moment, during that tenure of your college career to where you went from boy to man essentially? Or do you feel like you reached that point at that point in your life?
The point, like I would say mid-season, I'm actually going through a whole lot of things family-wise and college-wise, and I'm not grasping what I need to do. And I couldn't turn to nobody and say, hey, I need help to figure it out. And then I just one day just woke up like, I got to figure it out.
Yeah.
I got to. There's no turning back. I can't ask my girlfriend at the time. I can't ask my homeboys at the time because they can't do it for me. I have to be able to do that for myself. So I kind of figured it out. What was bad about it was we get to the semis for the conference championship. The game before you go to NCAA tournament, I actually went crazy for the first time in my at Winthrop. Like I felt like myself. But that's the last game of the season.
Nothing else after that.
So it's like, why did you wait all that time, all this nonsense that you went through to actually show your true talent? And they telling you why you didn't do this the whole season.
And you think it was off the court?
Off the court. Everything was off the court. Physical ability, it was there. The game was there. But the mental aspect of the game was not. Because once I got to that point, it was like, man, I don't know what to do.
So at this point, is your college career getting ready to come to a close, or
no,
are you getting ready to transfer?
I'm getting ready to transfer. I had my exit meeting. You always have an exit meeting.
Okay. What does that consist of?
That consists of your coaches pull everybody in.
Is this like only for bad players, or is this like everybody?
Everybody get an exit meeting, but it just goes in order. The people that's going to return. This is how I experienced it. The people that's going to return, they got a meeting like very next day. My meeting came 2 weeks later. So I felt like I was asking my teammates at the time, like, hey, did you get your exit meeting yet? They said, yeah, we already had it. So I'm like, okay, cool. All right. What's going on? So I had my meeting. They actually finally called me in. And then it wasn't not physical ability. It was not, I wasn't a great student. Yeah. It was like, I cannot work with you. You are a nuisance because your attitude is so bad. You got the physical ability to do what we're asking you to do. But when we ask you, you have an attitude. That's why I say, don't have an attitude. Be out here having fun. When I coach y'all, I don't have an attitude with y'all. I don't have none of that. I have a lot of energy. I'm always talking. I'm always energetic because that's what I learned. Like, why am I angry with my coaches? And they're putting me in a position to win.
Wow.
But at the time, I didn't understand that.
I wonder where the defense mechanism came from, though.
Defense mechanism came from that I didn't have a father in my life. Now I'm trying to hold all that weight of trying to be great without a father figure in my personal life. I had men in my life to tell me, hey, this is how you do things as a man to take care of a family. But there was no man in my position in my life to say, hey, this is what you do as a D1 athlete. If that makes sense.
No, totally. And I think, right, and it's like, I wonder, and I'm kind of like getting off topic just for a brief second. Why do like men feel like we got to do it by ourselves? You know what I mean?
Because society tells us we got to. The world say a man really got to make sure he's good and figure out the rest later. The pride thing, pride and embarrassment. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to get catch off guard. Like, we don't want that as a man. From what I've experienced as myself and from other men that I talk to about just life stuff. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't want to not know something.
Yeah, I agree. So now, exit meeting. You know.
Now this again, I made a second mistake again without doing my research because I was emotional.
So you talking about like on
the transfer, getting ready to transfer. I didn't do my research. I could have went to, you name it, like, because at the time we had a transfer portal. We had.
I was just about to ask that. Like, what
down a level?
Yeah, and were you able to play? What do you mean by down a level?
You had to go. I had to go D2. I couldn't stay D1 because at the time there was no transfer portal.
Wow.
So I had to go down in order to still play. I could have stayed at my current school, but I still wanted to hoop.
Yeah, and so you probably wanted to hoop immediately.
Yeah, I went down. I went D2 in order to continue to hoop. But I could have stayed there at what I was at, but that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
But after that exit meeting, and of course, and you still got to go to class. You still got to get your grades. I went on like 10 visits. Sent all D2, 10 visits. John C. Smith, Winston. Like, I was going everywhere that I thought that, you know, I had to look at. And I had a lot of looks.
Yeah.
Because they put you in the system or something like that, and your name pops up of all the transfers that's trying to get transferred out. My name was on there. So that whole process, I was just like out of it. Like, I didn't know why I was here. I'm a D1 athlete. I'm not D2. I'm not. That's not who I am. But
because you've already played at the D1 level, so you felt like you was too good for it.
Exactly. But who am I? I went from not doing anything to doing something. Now I feel like I'm entitled to something when I'm not. So now you probably narrowing down to like a couple schools now. Yeah.
And what was the decision?
The decision, what I should have done was my research on these schools. I should have went to Winston-Salem, but I'll end up going to Shorter University in Rome, Georgia. It's a small school out the way. I thought I was doing something right because I wanted to get away. I was running from something. I don't know why I was running. I don't know where I was going.
This is still off the court.
Still off the court.
Okay.
Everything is still off the court. I was running from something. I don't know why, but I started to go internal. Like, I started going inside rather than, hey, I need some damn help. Like, I need something.
And you would have thought like an HBCU, you know what I mean?
I had HBCUs.
Right. But when you say, you know, Winston, I'm like,
man, look, my visit at Winston, I couldn't go to Winston.
Oh, what? Hold on. What happened, man?
Man, on my visit, I already knew one of my high school teammates, Preston Ross, was going there.
Hey, shout out to Preston, man.
Preston, that deal. But
yeah, shout out to Preston.
He was already going there. So people was telling me not to go there because me and him was gonna compete for spots, but we already played on the same team, so I didn't understand that. But when I went there and I saw all them women at the time, I wouldn't be able to focus.
Yeah.
The ratio there is crazy. So I thought I was like, okay, as a 21, 22-year-old man, I couldn't focus at that time. I wouldn't be able to focus. And I wanted to focus because I wanted to get somewhere.
So how many seasons did you spend at once you transferred?
I just had one season left.
One season?
And I went there. Like I said, the physical tools was there, but once I hit that plateau of, okay, I'm arrived, I didn't have that same drive that I had when I was at Brunswick. Because you look at my numbers at Brunswick and to the D1 level, it's a totally different person. I went from averaging 15 points, 10 rebounds to 3. How does that work? Your mind ain't right.
And was the minutes the same or was
minutes the same?
Wow.
Dropping 30, and I'm talking about freshman year, 5 to 6 from 3, going crazy. Sophomore year, averaging 15 to 20 points a game. But when I went to that big fish, that big pond, and I told you last time, you get to that point where like, man, these dudes actually really can hoop for real. Yeah. They can really, they live and breathe it.
And the size is different too. Everybody the same size. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you could probably explain just a little bit more. Like, what's the size difference? Because I've always heard that like there is a noticeable size difference from like D2 to D1. Excuse me. Whether it's weight, whether it's height. Obviously, we know the skill level is different.
Nah,
really?
No. D1, D2 is no different. Them boys can hoop in D2. Them boys really get to it in D2. Okay. They just didn't have that opportunity to go D1 because they probably got on late. like you said, my SAT score wasn't high, so they had to go to another school that accepted them. You still got to get your student work done first before you be an athlete. Some of them dudes they got dudes from D2 going to the league. I forget his name, but a couple guys went to the league from D2.
So what do you think was like the noticeable difference that made you go from averaging 15 to just averaging 3 outside of your mind? I mean, we get it that you say that you're in your head, but like, what is the noticeable difference from, going from the D2 to the D1 level?
Work ethic. Work ethic was non-existent. I went back to the physical aspect of what I knew. If I would have done the work as far as putting in the work that I knew I should have done, then it would be a totally different animal. I would have averaged 30 at the D2 level because it's easier there. But that's the reason why. It's just the work. That's it.
So do you think, because at this point you've played for 3 schools, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that hurt your chances of playing ball at the next level, at the pro level?
Yeah, because that didn't give me the opportunity to scouts to know where I'm at. I went off kilter. I went somewhere else. So how can I say, hey, I'm gonna go here and you don't know where I'm going? I didn't announce it. I didn't say anything. I just went there. So they don't know where to go. But they knew, hey, like Keon Moore, he was tough at Winthrop. Andre Smith, tough. Gideon Gamble, tough. They had opportunities, but it didn't pan out for everybody like it should.
So because I know you talked about how hard it is to go pro, but for you specifically, now you're graduating, you're trying to go pro, you're trying, you're getting workouts, you getting coordinated with an agent. Like, now what does that look like for you at this point?
After all of that, it was just difficult because I went to a tryout. I went to a Magic tryout, and I succeeded in the things that I thought was good. I had conversations with the coaches. I was fine. But they also have somebody they're already looking at. So once you're not on that level, they're going to just veer off to the left. They're going to see what they want.
Thank you for coming.
And that's it. That's how the business is. I mean, why would you feel this type of way about business? These people making billions of dollars on an athlete or 2 athletes, 3 athletes. Why they're not going to waste their time on that.
And if they're going to invest in something, they want to make sure that they're getting a good product.
Just like college.
Yeah.
You making, you got a scholarship worth $40,000 a year. They want to make sure they're making that right investment.
Yeah. So where did you end up playing? Like, where did you end up playing?
Well, I went. It's a league called American Select. I'm not sure anybody's familiar with that. I went to a couple workouts, and they had coaches from France, Germany, just to name a few. And I actually went to Germany a couple times with that American Select team, and I got picked up. I had a workout with them in Germany, and I was good until I thought I was good because I still wasn't putting in the work. I just was playing basketball. Basketball is a natural thing. So once that happened, and I realized that they weren't giving up that cheddar, it was over with.
Mm. And we're talking about like basketball workouts itself, like actually hitting the weights.
Basketball workouts
because
itself.
I mean, at this point, you ain't got to worry about schoolwork no more.
No.
You know what I mean? That distraction is gone.
Right.
So like, was it the extra reps, the extra hours in the gym, or like you wasn't giving it 100% in practice? Like, what do you think when you talk about work ethic and lack of, like, what do you think specifically that it was?
I would say not watching film, not studying, not doing the things that you would think someone in my position would do.
Do you think it was like the offensive end or the defensive end?
Everything.
Really?
Like I said, learning the plays, learning where your spots are, learning those intricate things that you can kind of tweak and make yourself better. That's why I said a trainer is important.
Mm. So how many years did you end up?
I only did a year there.
A year?
Yeah. Because after that, after those instances where I knew that I wasn't who I say I was to myself, because nobody could tell me who I was. I just know that I got to a point that I needed something and I didn't get it. After I got to that year and I realized that they weren't working with me, because I had an agent. I was able to get one. But he was taking money from me too. So at that time, I was just done with
And
the
if
whole
you're not
situation.
getting the looks and things aren't panning out the way you want them to be, it's kind of like you're throwing money down the drain.
Pretty much. Yep.
So talk us through the moment and like kind of talk us through the emotions as well of when you realize like, hey, basketball might not be for me.
So
because it's a humbling statement. Nobody ever wants to say that what I've dreamed about and the goal that I've set for myself all my life, like, is not gonna come to pass. Like, so talk us through what that moment and that emotion felt like.
That emotion, 2015, I remember it like it's yesterday. I had to call my brother and tell him, "Hey, I'm coming home." Like, I haven't been around my family since I was 14.
Wow.
So I was by myself for the entire time, and I had to call my brother and say, "Hey, I got to come to the crib." That experience, that conversation just broke me down because I've been able to sustain myself for this entire time. So, like I said, a pride thing, ego, I got to break myself down to come to a level that I didn't think I had to go back to get myself together.
What was the initial response?
Why? Because they felt like I was going to be something as far as a pro athlete. They had that in their hearts. Everybody in my family had that in their hearts. Even my friends, they would send me things like, "Hey, Charlotte Hornets got to try out. Hey, Magic got to try out. Hey, Cleveland got to try out. Why are you not doing these things? Why are you not going there? You good enough to get there. Why are you not going?" But I was done mentally. I was done.
So do you think it's conversations that you didn't have? Because like if they're sending you these things and they're sending you these tryouts,
I just ignore them.
Wow.
Like, for what? I don't got it. Even though I had it, I just didn't have it anymore, the push.
And is this like a gap in between American Select and...
This is the same time.
Okay, so you're in season with American Select and they're sending you these postcards or emails or whatever saying, "Hey, these NBA teams are having a tryout."
Yes.
But in your mind, you're like, "I'm probably going to get through the season, but I'm done with basketball professionally."
Yep. And I got a teammate. We talk every day now. Like we make sure that, we have a conversation every day, or he send me something funny or something like that. But his dad is the owner of a G League team in Orlando. I could have went there. He asked me to come there a few times. I never went. We talk every day, but I never took the opportunity to say, "Hey, let me come down there and handle my business." I got a foot in the door already. That's what the mental aspect come in at.
Why don't you think why don't you think you could have gotten past the mental block?
Because I didn't have that.
Like you have people that want to help you, obviously.
Yeah.
Reached out a few times.
Yeah.
And it's like you refuse to help. Like, why do you?
Because I was already by myself. Mentally, like just taking a mental break. Mentally, I was by myself in this realm of things. Basketball, life, whatever. I was going through a lot. So when they brought those opportunities, it's like, what took so long? Why didn't this happen before?
Yeah.
As a 22-year-old man, you're not understanding none of that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. At that time, I really don't have an answer why I didn't. Hey, all right, hey, hook that up for me.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't do it.
So you go home. What does that look like?
Home looks confusing.
Because I mean, at this point, maybe 7-8 years have went by at this point.
I would say, 2 years went by? 2 years? Yeah, 2 years.
Okay, yeah, my bad. I got to know because I know you was like you haven't been home since 14.
Yeah,
I'm thinking post college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I would say like 2015, 2016, I had to make that call.
Okay, so now you go home. Probably have to find a regular job now.
Man.
Like, how humbling.
Just imagine from 0 to 23, 24, your life is paid for. Then you got to figure out the work. Like that was, I went my first ever job, like my first job, getting a real paycheck from a real job was Chipotle.
Damn.
And I thought I was making some money.
Hey, shout out to Chipotle too, by the way.
Hey, I was in that thing, whipping it up. I was the grill. I was on the grill, making it happen. Like,
hey, did you have any? Jokingly, did you have any like specials that you came up with?
I mean, not really, because when you at Chipotle, you can't really do too much.
Yeah, because we can see what you're doing.
Yeah, like,
but you ain't never just like you ain't never just get creative one day. It was like, man, let me see.
I mean, we always had they put me on the quesarito though. Like you put the quesadilla and all that and the burrito together. Yeah, and shit like a damn bazooka of a burrito. But other than that, nah.
Bro, I always wonder why they put all that stuff in there just to be like, oh, I can't roll this.
Man, hey, you try to get the bang for your buck. What you mean? I need all that.
I mean, yeah, you got to take a personal loan out just to go to Chipotle. Right. But, okay, so you had Chipotle and, you know, you're adjusting to, I guess, regular life, we could say at this point. Like, talk about your mental there. Like, you're back now.
I'm back in I say civilization because basketball takes you to a different level that you didn't think you could be at. Like, I'm getting support from my brother, Marcus. I'm getting support from his wife. They always had those grown women conversations with me all the time. They came to my first day, they was there. Like, you know, I'm like, dang, like, why didn't you just have this support? But again, I was pushing everybody away because I thought I was the shit. So
do you think you're starting to turn a corner at this point?
No. I'm in my head. I'm already emotional wreck because my dream didn't come true. So they helping me out. I'm working hard too. I'm thinking I'm doing something. My first check was $600. What the hell can you do with $600?
Eat.
In Tampa, Florida, first of all.
Eat until the next paycheck?
Nothing.
You ain't paying no rent?
Nothing. You can't do nothing with that. So over time, like 6 months went by, and my brother, Maurice, had put me on with another job, working at a health plan. Pay raise came in, but it still wasn't feeling right. Like my teachers told me in school, like, you got to find something that interests you.
Yeah.
And that stuck with me my whole life. And I haven't found that during that time, that's something that interests me. So I was just there. Like, everywhere I was at after post-basketball, I was just there. I didn't know what to do, how to work, how to be a productive human being. Like, it was just, you go to work, you go home.
Yeah.
That's boring. When you playing basketball, you got practice, you got study hall, you got food, you got this, you got so many different opportunities you can eat off of. But when you go to blue collar, if I say, you know, work like that.
And
you gotta be a grown man.
So are you playing basketball of like any sort at this point?
Yeah, I'm at USF every day, killing them.
Wow.
Like LA Fitness, King, going crazy in Tampa. Like, it's nothing that they could do with me. Like today, I've played with a torn quad, you know, sometimes, and I killed them. I mean, people have seen me play, but at that time, I was still physically getting to it.
So where do you think the light bulb was for you to like deal with what you had going on mentally, so that you could progress as a person?
I had to go when I joined the Army. That basic training, that Nick at Night, I thought it was real, but it wasn't. I just like, when I joined, I had to fight my demons. Like, I had to fight them. Like, every night I was up. Every night I couldn't get no sleep. Like, I ain't have no contact with my family. I had no contact with nobody. So you just got yourself and people you don't know. So all you got is your thoughts. So I had to deal with that. Like, I had to deal with what I had going on in my mind. And once I actually figured out, like, you're not by yourself. You're not alone. You got people that care about you and love you. Why did you do this whole entire time? Why? And I finally had my why. Because I ain't had no dad. That's it.
Wow. So what did help look like for you?
Help look like for me now today, my wife continuously telling me, hey, this is not right. what you doing is not right. How you feeling is not right. Like you tripping. Like what? Why are you saying this to me? Why are you saying that to that person? Why don't you give a damn? And I have to look at that like, why don't I give a damn? Why don't I think like this? Why am I not emotionally attached to certain things? So it helped me check myself, in a sense.
And being a father now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Knowing what you endured as a kid and placing yourself in like this father role, what are you doing differently mentally to ensure that you don't give off that same trauma to your child now? I'm
gonna say this, and I'm just be candid. I've never in my life thought I would be a stepfather. Never. But that little girl, that's my road dog. Like I love her to death. Like me and my wife was going through some things at the time, and we were not together. But her daughter called me every day. Every day that was not, why you not this and that? Like she made sure that, hey, we gonna stay together. We gonna stay a family. So she was essentially fighting for her future. And I'm like, dang, like a little girl can fight for me, but I can't fight for my marriage at the time. So hindsight, that's what did it. Like they was just fighting for me.
Yeah.
So
how important do you think is family? So we'll kind of just talk about family for a little bit. How important do you think family is, from the husband role to the wife role to the child role? Like, how important do you think family is in everyday life?
Everyday life, I think family is everything. Family is more important than money, more important than the materialistic things. Because when it's time to come home from that world beating you up, and you come home and you see your kids running to you, happy to see you, and you see your wife that made dinner and done all those things for you, and you doing the same thing, that takes away all the stress from what I've experienced.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
it's a euphoric feeling.
No, I agree. And like, I think of myself and, you know, and us being in the military, like I recently had a promotion.
Right.
And part of
shout out to you.
No,
man.
Me? Chill. But I got promoted the other day, and part of my speech was tailored towards family because whether you're in the military, whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a doctor, a pro athlete, I think family is very important to it's important towards you being successful.
Right.
Like if your family's not happy,
you ain't happy.
You're not going to be happy. Mm-hmm. It's going to show in your work performance.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And picking where you are, like location wise, like having those conversations with your spouse to say, hey, look, this is what this is going to look like for the next 3-4 years. Right. Are you okay with this? Right. Because energy is everything. Right. And being on the same page is everything. And when y'all two aren't on the same page, who's watching? The kids. The kids.
They picking it up too, quick.
And then when you allow yourself to default into your old defense mechanisms, right? Now you're reopening that trauma that you thought you closed. Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. And then you ask it, and us as parents, we ask ourselves, well, why is my kid doing this? Why is my kid doing that?
Because they saw us do it.
Because they're not getting it from nowhere.
Yep.
So kind of tying it back into like your mental state, what do you think you're doing different outside of your wife giving you words of affirmation, outside of her, ensuring that you're doing your part as a husband and as a father, but like, what are you, doing to ensure like, hey, I don't want to go back into this same situation that I once was?
I realized that I put too much pressure on myself. I put too much thought into what I wasn't doing, actually realizing that I actually did some great things with my life. I would say also just understanding that you're human at the end of the day. I mean, I realized, hey, if I see something that I used to do, I look at it like, okay, this is just a moment. This is not a whole spill of emotions that needs to happen. Figure it out and move on. That's it. That's all I do. I hold myself accountable on what I said. Hey, I'm not doing this no more.
Yeah. How important do you think communication is? And before you answer, I'm not saying communication meaning let me say the first thing that's on my mind.
Now, I was one of them. First thing came to my mind, I'm saying it. Everybody know that. I say anything. It don't got to be on topic.
But you know that ain't always.
It's not productive at all. But I had to get mine off. I had to.
And what did it do for you?
Nothing.
Did it even make you feel better?
No. But it was more so an impulse thing. I'm gonna just say what I want. What you gonna do? Leave? I don't care. Yeah. That's what I was used to. Everybody leaving because of me, my decisions. Yeah. It wasn't ever theirs. I said, whatever, I get another one. So what? So now, just holding myself accountable, I can get another one. That mindset, why would I want another one? For what? What is she going to do that my wife can't do? My wife could do a whole lot of stuff I didn't even know she can do.
Get on nerves is at the top of the list.
Man, look,
but
that's my dog, though. I love her.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So let's talk about what's next for you. Mm-hmm. I know you talked about potentially coaching. I know you talked about potentially being a basketball trainer.
Yeah.
Like, do you think you'll still see yourself involved with the sport in some way? And then knowing that, having kids and stuff now, like, do you think you'll still stay connected to the game in some way? Or like, is there something else that your mind is kind of like drifting towards? Like, where are you now?
My mindset, like from what I've seen, I really gave it a shot here. I actually want to train. Like, I want to train athletes. I want to then coach one day because I just seen like the impact you can have just by the little knowledge you got that you can give somebody. But I definitely want to train. I have the knowledge. I have the research. I have those different things that you may need. I got the creativity. You can speak on that. I don't think for 4 months we ain't have the same workout ever. So I know that, and I seen it on display. So that work and that mindset, I think I could just be a great trainer, honestly.
How big of a market do you think basketball training is today as opposed to what it was?
I would say location wise. Years ago. I'd say location is important because you get those marquee athletes that don't want to go where you live, or they're in LA. LA got everything. LA got everything. But I don't want to move there. I want to create my own way, my own movement on what I want to do to make players better. And I got to believe in myself that I can do it. So I want to start small, of course, and move forward.
Yeah. No, that's dope. Before we get out of here, I kind of want to lighten it up a little bit and talk about.
Yeah, it's kind of deep. I didn't realize it would get this deep.
Yeah, nah. And I also want to say too, man, I thank you for sharing, man, because like a lot of people, it's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to kind of confront, the truth in a sense,
right?
And deal with things head on. Mm-hmm. So like, total bravery on your part, and like, I truly appreciate you sharing because I was able to take some tools out,
right,
and give me some food for thought to be able to think about and help me be better.
Right,
you know what I mean? As a person, as a husband, as a father, because it's funny, we laughed at people that's our age now as like, man, you old, but like now that's us.
Yeah.
And now we're in the position. It's a privilege
to be old though.
It is. And if you take care of yourself, right? Like, people are 30, 50, like they look good. And if you take care of yourself, you could live a nice, long, healthy life.
Absolutely.
So I just, cause I have kids myself, and I really want to make sure that I'm putting them in the best position to be a kid, one.
Right.
And two, give them opportunities, whether they see for themselves or the things that they don't see. Mm-hmm. Because you only get one life.
One. Big one.
And the last thing that you want to say is, man, I wish I could have did this.
Yep.
I should have did this. I would have did this had I been in this situation. Had my parents taken me to this recreation center to sign me up, or had they taken me to this university to go to this camp. If I can facilitate what that looks like, I want to be able to give them anything and put them in any position to be the best person and the best kid that they can be.
Yep.
And not to like bring up Bronny James, but like he's a perfect example
of
that.
Mm-hmm.
son to
the king,
King James, the
you
GOAT.
already know.
You know what I mean? And like
always and forever.
He's under pressure right now because of who he's connected to, his name. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like now I think LeBron is trying to course correct a little bit and be like, hey man, just let him be a kid. But stuff like that's important, man, because these are things that you carry with you, you know, every day in life. And you don't realize how big it is because you try to tuck it away.
Right.
You know, until one day you just hit that wall. You hit that wall and you like, man, like I am broken.
Right.
And I don't know why.
Yeah.
You get
Until you figure it out, like,
yeah,
I know why. And you had an aha moment, like, oh shit.
Yeah. Nah, so it's a real thing, man. So I just wanted to say, man, I am appreciative of you coming back. I'm appreciative of you sharing this space with me. You know what I mean? And like you're helping me grow. And I hope that you continue to knock down walls and break through barriers and, you know, get after the things that you want to get after, because I personally think that you have a total calling on impacting the youth that's coming up now. You know what I mean? Just from everything that you did for me prior to my injury, like, you know, you made me see something in myself on the court that I didn't even realize that I saw.
Yeah.
And I'm about to be 30.
Yeah.
So just imagine what you could do with somebody who's 12, 13, 14, you know what I mean, who doesn't realize the untapped potential that they have.
Right. And I appreciate that.
And with that being said, let's talk about greatest sports movies of all time.
Man, come on, man. You already know.
Do you have like a top three, or do I got to name some?
I got Above the Rim, White Man Can't Jump.
Hold on. No, man.
Are you crazy?
Those aren't sports movies,
That's
though.
That's a sports movie to me.
Those aren't sports movies.
To me.
I'm thinking
Blue Chips.
I'm thinking that's a movie. That's a sports movie.
So it's
Coach Carter. Remember the Titans?
I mean, I like hood.
That's cool. I like hood movies too.
Marrying the Titans. I mean, come on.
But we talking about Denzel. Don't hate, bro.
On. That's a different level. Like, all
right, so
he golden. Like, nah.
Just because they played on the blacktop 3v3 don't make it a sports movie, though.
That's my movie. That's what I'm standing on. I'm standing on business for my movie.
So you taking Above the Rim over Coach Carter?
Rim, all day.
Man.
Hey, you got legends in there.
You do.
Hey, you got Georgetown in there, which is one of my favorite schools to watch, even though they're not performing like I want them to. But you got some heavy hitters in there. I like the movie. That's one of my favorite basketball movies. He Got Game? What you gonna say? He Got Game?
That's a sports movie. I'll buy that. That was actually a sports movie. You can't tell me
the big state. Nah, man. You might have gone to a big state. I'm good.
What?
I'm just saying.
Stop it.
That's my movie. Above the Rim, man. Above the Rim. All day.
I actually expected more from you, man.
Hey, you can expect what you want, but that's my opinion.
Hey. Okay. So how about, all right, try to stick with me. College-based movies. So I'm thinking like Drumline, Stomp the Yard, those type of movies.
I don't know if you know this movie called, but The Sixth Man.
No.
See, you ain't in there. You ain't in there. You ain't in that pocket.
Come on. No, don't do it.
Hey.
Who's in it? I mean, who was in it?
Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans is in there.
Oh, is that the movie where
his brother dies?
Yeah. Okay, my bad. I do remember that movie.
I
do remember that movie. That was a good movie, actually.
But Above the Rim all day and everything. How can you not? You have drama, comedy, suspense, a storyline that's good. How can you lose?
I might have to go back and rewatch it.
Go ahead. I'm telling you. That's what I like. Tupac is in it. Come on, man. You don't get a golden performance from him.
So what was as I mentioned, Drumline and Stomp the Yard, what was a better depiction of the college life? Was it Stomp the Yard, or do you think it was Drumline?
I say Drumline.
And give me the better movie.
Of them two?
Mm-hmm.
Drumline. Nick Cannon wasn't. Everybody think Nick Cannon's so corny. Nick Cannon wasn't corny in that movie to me. Everybody know the freestyle when he was in the locker room with the drum. Everybody know that freestyle.
Yeah.
Everybody. Don't tell me nobody don't know that freestyle. Everybody do. So I like the movie over that.
Okay.
Now, my favorite all-time movie of all time period is Rush Hour, but we not going there. It's not sports.
Damn, you taking Rush Hour over Friday?
Rush Hour, that's my movie. You ask my wife. I mean, my wife watch the shit every week. Damn. I know all the words. That's my movie. I don't know why. Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker, that's me all day. It sucks, but hey, that's my movie.
Look, man, I hope you guys enjoy what you heard. Because I'm not about to do this with you, man. I'm not about to do this with you, man. Hey, with
you so disappointing.
Look, bro, I got to cut these cameras on. We got to have a talk, man, because I'm not about to do this with you, man. So, look, for those of y'all tuning in.
Hey, shout out to them boys, man. Shout out to everybody I mentioned, man. Love y'all, man.
Oh, my goodness, man. This dude right here. I'm going to try for the fourth time because this man keep making me laugh. So, look, wherever y'all were tuning in from, I hope y'all enjoyed what y'all heard. I hope you got some out of the conversation. As always, please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. I do this for you guys. This is a small platform that I hope to grow one day to be something that catches your algorithm. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, Steve Johnson.
We out of here.